It is Thanksgiving today, and we have been stuck at the house because my son has some respiratory virus that we don't want to give to anybody else. I wanted to make the day special still, so I got Super Mario Wonder and decided to try and play it with 3 of my children. The problem is, we only play those little carnival games, and they have no idea what they're doing when they're controlling a player that's going across the screen having to try and achieve specific goals. Like at coins. For any of you who have played it, you're familiar with the fact that there is one main character who controls the way the camera pans left and right, and everyone else has to try and keep up with that one player, otherwise their player will just end up floating around, threatening to disappear forever. Well, because my kids never play this game, it was a lot of, come on, let's go this way. Daddy, save me, I'm floating away. Hurry, Daddy, save me. So I'm fighting to try and give instructions to 3 who have no idea what they're doing. They barely know how to use the controllers, let alone get their players to do what they actually want them to, all while trying to keep up with the main character moving through. After we beat the first level, they realized that they could actually wrestle control away from me. If they did certain things or if my character went away, they could get control, and they were the ones who were jumping around making the camera move, and I had to try and keep up with them. The phrase herding cats has nothing on what it's like trying to play Super Mario Wonder with 3 little kids who have no idea how to play video games. At the end of the day, my son went to bed, and I played Jenga with my 2 eldest. They'd never played Jenga before. And if you've never played Jenga before and you're a younger person, you don't really understand how things work out when it comes to physics. But my second, she was confident that she knew how to play the game, and she didn't need to be shown. So she went first in the very first game and ended the game with her very first move by toppling it over. It was at that moment that I thought about what happened to me earlier this week at work. I'm in a new field in the automotive industry, and I don't know anything about vehicles. Well, I know more now than I did when I first started, but I really still don't know anything. One of the mechanics in there has been talking to me throughout the week and training me everything, and this guy's been doing it for 30 years, so he knows what he's talking about. He's worked on all kinds of trucks in multiple locations with multiple companies, and he's shared several stories with me about guys who've come in thinking they know everything, and they'll start talking about a problem that they are just stumped on. They've spent 3 days trying to figure it out, and he comes back from vacation, walks in, and the boss looks at him and says, "Can you please fix this thing for us? These guys are stumped." He said each time he's gone out there and he's looked at the problem, asked them what they've done, tinkered around a little bit, and within an hour, he's been able to figure out what they've not been able to move past for days. He said the reason that these stories stand out, though, is because these guys who couldn't figure it out for 3 days had talked about how much they knew about vehicles. Anytime he'd get in a conversation with them and ask them if they've done this or if they've done that, they'd always dismiss it like he didn't know what he was talking about, and they knew everything. So because they'd have something to prove, they would waste all of their time and energy instead of asking him, "Hey, do you know what I should do on this?" They were out to prove how much they knew, but really all they did was just show how much they didn't. Because he's talked about how much mechanics have turnover and jumping from shop to shop, I asked him, I said, it seems like there's just a pissing contest each time these guys come in. They just want to try and show how much they know better than anybody else in the shop. He said, yeah, absolutely. Every single time somebody comes in, they come in with their toolbox and they're trying to show off all that they know and everything. He said, and I can tell you within 10, 15 minutes whether or not they're good or not. He said, the sad thing is these young kids come in and they think they know it all. After about 10 minutes, they've said everything that they know. And the rest of the time you can tell all they did was study a book and they've just got the head knowledge, but they don't really know what they're doing. I said, it must be refreshing to have somebody like me come in to say, I don't know anything. He said, absolutely. I would much rather have somebody come in like you who's willing to learn, who's going to follow me along. He said, I can teach you everything, and I don't look down upon anybody for not knowing anything. I'm happy to show them, but if they're trying to prove something, yeah, I'll let them prove how much they don't know. Waste their time and energy? No sweat off my back. So as I think about that in our first game of Jenga coming to an end so quickly, I immediately told my daughters, I said, let me show you how this works and I'll explain to you what I'm doing and why it works the way that it does, so then you can make your next move. Well, our next couple games went a lot better and it was much more enjoyable. My daughters were having a great time. They were laughing. My eldest was up dancing around the room because she gets so anxious as she's just waiting for her turn and if the tower's gonna fall. And my second is just looking at me, smiling and laughing with each move that she makes, wondering if it's gonna accidentally take the tower down. Now, I know it may seem a far stretch to think about how my time in the mechanic shop and my time with my daughters playing Jenga correlate, but they really do. When you step into a situation and you don't know what to do, there is no shame whatsoever in just admitting, I don't know what I'm doing. Would you please show me? So often we get caught up with what people are going to say and how they expect us to be at a certain level. But really, ultimately, what it's going to boil down to is you're going to show what level you're at. Whether you were skilled, knowledgeable, capable, or completely ignorant of a situation, it's going to reveal itself. The difference is going to be what that experience is going to be like for you and everybody else around you. If you're fumbling along and you've told everybody that you already know everything that you're doing, they're not looking at you going, oh, he really knows what he's doing. No, they're going, what an idiot. This guy had said he knows how to do everything, and he comes in here, he can't even do one simple thing. Meanwhile, you've got sweat rolling down your back because you're so nervous because you're fumbling along, hoping that you look like you've got it together, but you clearly don't, and you can't get anything in line because you were too proud to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. Can you please show me? The other reveal that will happen is the person who you ask will either show that they do know, and also if they care. If they're supposed to be part of your team and they're not willing to help you out and they're just going to belittle you, it's better to find out in this moment rather than later on down the road whenever you're expecting some help and they just throw you to the wolves. Well, I hope you enjoyed my stories about game time with my daughters and my son, and also my experiences in my new job, working with vehicles and out of my comfort zone. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up, put something down in the comment section, share it on social media, and I will see you next time when we can share a cigar and change the world.